on the edge of the desert when the drugs begin to take hold.
You're either in or you're out. Right now.
I want to gamble.
I never want to hear those words out of your mouth again.
Gambling is not your problem.
Has anybody ever told you before of your bad luck?
Most gamblers, when they go to gamble, they go to win.
Those were my mother's dying words.
When we go to gamble, we go to lose. Show me the money.
Let's get out of here, man.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to NFL Week 6 action. We have maybe not an exciting game slate top to bottom, but we do have quite a few games that are very interesting. I don't want to say playoff predicaments starting early, and we're going to have a guest today because old Brandon's on daddy duty. This time he's not out giving hand jobs, which is fortunate because he's got to hold his child, but we have a lot to cover and only a little bit of time to do it. JC, are you excited about these weeks? Do you have any good lines that you're going to be knocking out for us?
It's a really tough week, especially in DFS. We got 10 games on the main slate. We got bye weeks. We got injuries all over the place, so pricing is very difficult. But dude, there's a lot of good value plays this week, so I'm excited.
Yeah, now Trevor, welcome in here. Last week, you and I loved a lot of these lines, man. I know we were spitballing back and forth. I don't really have that much of a delightful vibe this week. How are you feeling going into week 6?
You know what? I think there's some underdogs here that can really make you some money. So I know you were talking about that earlier, Marcus, so don't sell yourself short. But yeah, nothing too exciting other than there are just a select few games I'm going to keep my eye on. And I'm just excited to get some bets in here because last week was one hell of a week. So probably going to lose a lot of money today. But hey, it's going to be fun.
Speaking of last week, let's just see how we did. Every week we're giving you guys 5 games. Bullshit. Oh, 5-0. Don't you hate to see it?
The real reason Brandon isn't here today is he went 2-3 last week.
Yeah, we're going to be in a very tight race, but it's going to be fun. But it's all about making money. I've been on a super hot streak for the last 2 weeks, so we're going to keep this one rolling. Guys, first game of the day. It's one I'm just completely not excited about anymore. Minnesota, Carolina. First off, no McCaffrey. That kind of sucks. Second off, Carolina, you really screwed me last week. Could have made a lot of extra cash. So I personally might have to bet against Carolina the rest of the year. But Vikings -2 on the road, over under 46. I'm hammering the Vikings.
Yeah, I'd say all day here without CMC in there. You got Dalvin Cook returning back too, nice and healthy. Plus, Madison is going to be there for the backup. They were both listed as questionable earlier, but they should be good to go. This one, if you're looking at the over/under, I just think it's going to be a kind of an ugly game to begin with Cook coming back, but with Minnesota running the ball a lot. I'm liking the under here, but absolutely, I'm on the Vikings all day.
I think it's going to be a pretty good game. I mean, from a DFS standpoint, I'm staying off Dalvin Cook a little bit. I don't know if he's going to get a full workload coming back, but I think it's going to be a very competitive football game. Minnesota's defense has led up a lot of good performances for running backs and wide receivers, so Sam Darnold should be kind of fun today. I think Juba Hubbard, for the next 3 weeks, he's been really productive so far. Should have a nice game today as well, a nice value play there. I think it's going to be a really fun game today. I don't know exactly how it's going to go, but I think that just overall team-wise, I like the Panthers today.
Yeah, and even though Brandon's not here, he's got one prop that I'm definitely going to cover right now. Sam Darnold, over a half interception, 3 last week, and one very crucial one that I'm hating everything about him. So, Vikings roll today. I guess is it going to be a roll game? How's Carolina going to score? It's confusing. Don't fucking watch it. There's better games to watch. Specifically, this next game that we're going to talk about. Oh, first off, Monday night, Lamar Jackson. Incredible, right? Incredible. But you know who also is fucking incredible? The Chargers, man. I'm so high on them. 2.5-point dogs. This started at 3. I was actually able to jump on the Chargers plus 3.5. And we actually just moved this line down to 2.5 before it did move to appease Brandon. Over under 52. Guys, Chargers fucking roll. Derwin James.
Yeah, Derwin James he's going to be the critical piece in this game, looking after Lamar Jackson. I still think Lamar Jackson, even in the open field, no one can touch him. Derwin James might be the closest person that could get a hand on him. So it's going to come down to how that matchup looks like. But Herbert, dude, I mean, this dude is just, I mean, absolutely just destroying people. You've got a lot of weapons on the offense. The one thing that to watch out for, this game is supposed to be pretty windy. So that might impact some of the air game. I'm actually on LA here. I just think that the Ravens and Vegas are kind of rolling on them from the hype from last week, which, by the way, Marcus Jackson had the best performance out of any QB that I've seen in recent history. Absolutely amazing. I still like the Chargers here because they just got too many weapons, and I think that Ravens defense is still pretty suspect.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting game. I did not expect the Ravens to be -2.5 at all. And I think that's part of, like what you mentioned, Trevor, is going to be a lot of wind today. You know, a team coming from the West Coast back over to the East Coast could be kind of an ugly game. But, as great as Lamar has been, he can put up 40 fantasy points in a week, but they're just not going to win this game today in any case. I think Eckler is going to have a really nice day on the ground. Mike Williams is very questionable. He should be able to make the play, so it could be a good Keenan Allen day. On the Ravens side of the ball, I think this is a very sneaky Latavius Murray day, which is not sexy. It's not fun, but kind of a contrarian play to Lamar doing absolutely everything. I think Latavius Murray gets in the end zone once, maybe twice today.
Yeah, you have to get some production from more than just one position. We're kind of seeing that happen in Kansas City right now. They're just not getting it done on a few different areas, and that translates to losses. Another big underdog, my darling team, guys. Arizona, traveling to Cleveland, 3.5-point dogs. 3.5-point dogs. In case you didn't hear me, 3.5-point dogs. Cleveland just had first team ever in the history to have 40 points, no turnovers, and you fucking still lose. If that's not Cleveland, I don't know what is. I'm kind of interested in 50.5, but is there a little bit of NFL collusion going on? Is the ghost of the Miami Dolphins trying their best to bring COVID over to Arizona, even though they're all cleared, all that good stuff? Nick Chubb's not playing today, guys. That's a huge factor. Kareem Hunt is awesome. He's very talented, but the Cleveland Browns are predicated on the run, ground and pound, nice balance of everything going on. Cardinals stay undefeated. One of my favorite underdog moneyline plays that they will be in an underdog parlay, obviously with the Chargers. Cardinals roll. Where are you guys at in this game?
So I was on Arizona earlier, just primarily because Marcus, you made me a lot of money last week. So, I have to roll with that. And I do have my underdog bets in. However, I flip flop a little bit just because I do think that there's something weird going on with the NFL. I also like Cleveland's front four. You saw what San Francisco kind of did to Kyler Murray and kind of keep him in check somewhat on the run game. Hunt is still an amazing running back, and they're still going to run the ball a lot in this game. And I think it comes down to the wire. I'm flipping and going with Cleveland, which usually means if I make that decision, it's going to go the other way, which actually helps my bets. So that's the way I'll choose today.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, it should be interesting because Hunt is questionable. He's been banged up a lot this week, and you kind of wonder is less more with Hunt, especially with Chubb in there, kind of getting in there and taking those secondary snaps. So I don't know if he's going to have a great game today. I don't know how we like Cleveland. I don't know why they're favorites in this, but Kyler Murray should just still be a quarterback one no matter what any game you're going into. There's no reason to sit him or overthink anything that way. I'm curious for you, Trevor, do you trust Odell Beckham today at all?
No, not at all. There's still no chemistry between OBJ and Baker. Like I said earlier, I still think OBJ just needs a Cleveland steamer on his chest from Baker to make this happen. But I believe Landry is coming back. So Baker does get a weapon in Landry, which actually they do have some good chemistry there. I doubt that he's probably gonna be on a snap count, but I think that additional help at wide receiver will kind of propel Cleveland here in a little bit. But no, OBJ, no way.
Landry's not active today. They did not activate him off fire.
Not active. They did not activate him. Okay, well, throw that one out.
Toss that one right out the window. And I'm sorry. I just get so hyped and excited about the Cardinals. I love everything that they're doing, and Kyler Murray is just fucking electric. And he's going to actually be one of those games in the future that we have to go see in person. JC and I, we got some Steelers games that we go to, and we'll be seeing the Chargers here within a month. But speaking of the Steelers, Sunday Night Football, the Seattle Seahawks, -5.5, 42.5 is your over-under. This is a Mike Tomlin letdown game. It's just how it has always been. Geno Smith, he's taking the quarterback spot because Russ Wilson is done, but he's no Caleb Williams, the best story in college football. Pittsburgh rolls.
Yeah, I don't see Pittsburgh being Seattle can't stop the run. I think Najee is going to have a massive game. Big Ben, yeah, although being banged up, I think they're going to be able to do whatever they want against the Seattle team. Geno Smith hasn't started in 4 years. Actually looked decent coming into when Russell Wilson went down. Still, I can't bet against Pittsburgh here. I like Najee so much. I think he's going to have a killer game. So from a fantasy standpoint, if I'm playing Najee, I'm scared because I think he's going to have a massive run game today.
Yeah, we should actually be able to run the ball today against Seattle. Their defense is awful. I'm curious to see Geno Smith. He did actually look pretty good last week. How that's going to affect their wide receivers on their side of the ball. I mean, I can't really recommend anybody from the Seahawks side of the ball from a fantasy standpoint, but Deontay Johnson should have a monster day today as well. And Chase Claypool hasn't really had a huge boom week. Apart from last week, he did play well with 130 yards and a touchdown, but could be another boom week for him as well.
Yeah, Geno had a good couple series, but it was kind of exactly like what happened in the Giants-Rams game. As they were hyping up Mike Glennon for driving down the field, he threw a pick six, just like Geno Smith threw an interception to seal the game. It's going to happen again. Steelers defense is fucking angry, and I'm all about that. Najee Harris, big day. Go Steelers. Monday Night Football, I'm not sure how excited I am about this, but come Monday night, I will be because they're going to be a final leg in a lot of parts. Buffalo, 5.5-point favorites, traveling to Tennessee, over under 4.5. I'm so torn on how many points they're going to be, but there's one thing I'm not torn on. Josh Allen, the guy's the real deal. I can't bet against Buffalo until they prove me wrong for a long time. Go Bills big.
Yeah, I like the Bills here. They're the top scoring offense in the league. They have looked just absolutely solid. And even though Tennessee is putting up some points, they're averaging 26.4 points a game, but that's to Buffalo's 34.4. Buffalo is a complete team. Even though Diggs hasn't really looked like amazing like he did last year, Buffalo's just got so many weapons, and Allen is just absolutely the man. I'm liking Buffalo, but I'm also liking the over here. I know it's a big over, but both these teams can score and score a lot. And I just think that's going to continue throughout this week. So give me the over and give me Buffalo all day.
Yeah, I think this should turn into a pretty, interesting game come Monday night. But I do think this is going to be a Stephon Diggs week. He breaks out this week. Tennessee's secondary is awful. But on the interesting side, the other side of the ball is how successful is Derrick Henry going to be against that Buffalo defense? And they have Julio Jones coming back this week, as well as A.J. Brown, although A.J. Brown will be limited on a snap count until week 10. So I think there's going to be a lot more play-action passing for Ryan Tannehill. He should be a good option this week as well, which could be a pretty interesting game. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure. I just kind of wish that Josh Norman was still on the field. It wasn't that long ago that Derrick Henry sent Josh Norman around the world, right? What a beautiful thing that was. Yeah,
he hasn't come down yet.
Yeah, he still hasn't. He's been on IR ever since. You guys have anything else for this Monday night game other than Buffalo's going to stomp that ass?
Ooh, no. I think Allen accounts for four or more touchdowns. So I don't know if there's any type of prop on that, but I think Allen is at least locked in for 4.
All right, then everybody, we've got 3 other games we just want to touch on, give you some other bets and props that we do like. And we're going to start with Dallas, New England. Dallas 3.5-point favorite going into New England. Kind of absurd. That doesn't make sense, which I guess that's why you would want to bet New England. But Dallas is undefeated 5-0 against the spread. When you're betting, that's all that matters. This isn't the same New England team or the same Cowboys team that we've seen for the last 20 years. And it's hard to wrap your mind around it that New England can lose multiple home games in a row, or that Dallas isn't just going to choke it away and wait for the Jerry show. I'm going to hammer the Cowboys. I've already hammered the Cowboys. I'm always going to do some last-minute props and bets that are going to involve the Cowboys. Until they don't cover, I'm just going to keep hammering the Cowboys. Where are you guys at here?
Yeah, you like you mentioned, you can't bet against the Cowboys now with what they've done against the spread so far this season. I'm loving Dak here, and actually, what I think it's going to happen is I think the Patriots are going to focus a lot on stopping the run today, and really kind of force it into the air because Zeke has been really efficient in the red zone, and Tony Pollard when he comes in, he's averaging more yards per carry than Zeke is, so very efficient on the ground. I think if they're going to try to shut that down and really force it into the air, but that's also another problem that they'll have to face because those wide receivers, CeeDee Lamb, and Amari Cooper are absolute studs. I think they have big games today. I think Dallas rolls, and I think they might even win by double digits here.
Yeah, there's just too many options to cover. You mentioned the receivers, you mentioned the running backs, but Dalton Schultz has been absolutely amazing the last couple of weeks as well. So there's just so much for them to cover, which creates a nice opportunity on the other side of the ball for playing the New England players in fantasy. I think Jacoby Myers has a massive day today. You saw them last week. They ran a screen on the goal line. They're trying to get him his first touchdown, which he just hasn't done yet. So I do think they get that today. Jacoby Myers, first touchdown. And if you're playing Taylor Heineke in a week where you think he's going to have a very good game script against Kansas City, it's not that much lower to take. I think it's a $500 pay cut to do a little max stack with Mac Jones and Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, no, Brandon likes Myers to get over 61.5 yards. And I'm glad you brought up Dalton Schultz. I love first touchdown props. It's made me a fucking ton of money in the last couple of weeks. And you brought up Dalton Schultz earlier this week, so he is in one of those round robins. Speaking of Taylor Heineke, I'm pretty much bringing up this game because I like to talk shit on Chase Young. Congratulations on getting your first sack and giving up 30 points again. Chiefs, -7 going into Washington, over under 54.5. I know I'm going to go against the grain here and take the under. Both of these teams are 4-1 as far as over-unders because they can't stop a nosebleed. But I have to think that Kansas City is going to roll on Washington here. I know Brandon agrees with me. He likes Darrell Williams over 10.5 carries, a lot of those in garbage time. But for me, I'm definitely going to hammer the Chiefs. I'm going to lean on the under, but I don't think I can invest too much in it because both of those defenses are atrocious.
Yeah, this one I don't have much on. I can't get a read on Kansas City. You mentioned that defense is awful, and it is bad. However, that offense, I think, continues to do well. I think it just depends on what Tyreek Hill is going to be like. I know he was questionable coming in to this game. I don't know if they've announced if he will play or not. That's one I'll keep an eye on. This is one that I am completely staying away from a betting standpoint because I can easily see this ending with Kansas City winning by a touchdown and kind of getting a push here. So I'm going to stay off this one, but my heart would be saying I would go with Kansas City just kind of get back to where they need to be because I have no faith in the Washington football, whatever they want to call themselves. So give me Kansas City here if I had to bet.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about Tyreek Hill. We talked a little bit about it in the pregame show, or a little bit earlier. He was deemed questionable after last week, right at the beginning when he went out of the game. But he did come back and play. He's been questionable all week. They just haven't adjusted his tag. I think he's going to be fine. I do think this is a boom Tyreek game, more so than Kelsey. Those two seem to kind of fluctuate a little bit, so you can have the better week. But on the other side of the ball, Washington, this was an auto stack for me. I like Heineke. I like Ricky Seals-Jones a lot, who stepped in and took a whole workload, did the same workload that Logan Thomas would have had. I think he's going to have a nice day today. He's a very cheap tight end option. McLaurin was in a bunch of lineups. I kind of have that because he has been questionable. He became questionable late in the week. I don't know exactly, what his workload is going to look like today. So a little bit of caution on McLaurin. But I think Heineke's a really nice play, a nice value play this week. So he does have that rushing floor. Like I said, I do like Ricky Seals-Jones today as well.
So it's safe to say that you're not running all of your DFS lineups with Washington's defense like last week?
They didn't hurt me too bad. They did get like 5 points. They had the fumble and the interception. But yeah, that was really frustrating. Whatever.
Yeah. Who would have thought the Buffalo Bills defense would have been the best for your DFS? However, one last game to talk about. The Las Vegas Raiders, 4-point dogs going into Denver. And in case you didn't know, John Gruden resigned. But for me, Denver just doesn't look that good. They started off hot early against some really bad teams. lost last week, obviously, to Pittsburgh. I still like the pieces that the Raiders have, and for me, I guess the mentality is they're going to come play physical. They're going to come play hard. They're going to prove a point. I'm loving the Raiders. I'm hammering the Raiders. I'm sweet on them. One of my darling teams for whatever reason. Maybe because everyone talks shit on Derek Carr all the time. For me, I think the biggest question on where to bet is who's going to get that first touchdown. Is it going to be old little Renfro? Because he's a target monster, or is it going to be Henry Ruggs? Because last week when the Steelers started off with a bomb to Deontay Johnson, very similar style to Henry Ruggs. So before you guys take those picks, which one of those two players do you think is more likely to score first today?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think I like Ruggs. I don't know why I'm literally just choosing this because I have no idea who to choose.
I told you it's a tough decision. It's the one I'm most torn on in this game.
Yeah, I mean, just gut would go to Ruggs here. I think he's gotten some good looks. I think he's getting better every week. So just give me Ruggs on this one because I don't know where else to go. That's a really tough call.
I always look at touchdowns as being kind of a random. They happen at a pretty consistent rate across the NFL. So for me, it's always about volume. Renfro is averaging about 8 targets per game. He's had 8 targets each of the last 2 games. Always take the volume and hope for a touchdown more than, just
the big play.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll run a second round robin with Hunter. All right, where are you guys at with this game? What bets do you like? Players, props?
You know what? It's weird. I know that Marcus, you're on the Raiders here. I like the Broncos. I think there's so much distraction in Las Vegas, which usually can be a good thing. But the Broncos with Teddy being in there look, pretty decent. They've got a solid defense. I believe they're like 3rd ranked, defense in the league. It's at home, given 4. I think it is going to be a very close game. But give me Denver here to actually cover, which I know is not a sexy pick, but I kind of like what that defense is doing. So give me Denver.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with you on Denver. There's obviously a lot of turmoil in Vegas with John Gruden going down. I don't know how Bisaccia is going to do. Is the locker room going to kind of rally around this? Or is it going to kind of crumble a bit because the organization looks like a bit of a joke at this standpoint? But I like the tight ends here. While I like Noah Fant, we talked about Renfro. He's still under 5,000 in DraftKings DFS. Still just a huge value play there. So I love him at 4,900. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Just as a reminder that I went undefeated last week and I'm on a fucking hot tear. So it is rather likely that we're due for a dud. But before we let you guys go, we're going to go over some Derek's digs. He's hitting in the high 80% right now for his fun props. One, we got Najee Harris and DK Metcalf plus 400. So that's 4-1 if they both score. Solid odds. I like it. We love Najee. He's going to be scoring. He's going to be touching the ball 20, 30 times today. And as we know, DK Metcalf can either chase you down or run away from you to the end zone, but he finds a way to get there. And then Green Bay, -6. He said, lock it in. He said, screw it, all the noise, lock in the Packers. Packers did great for me last week. It's one of those weird games. Justin Fields, I'm just so sweet on him. Another one of the guys I man crush on. But what Derek says, go, lean Packers, 6, lock it in. You guys have any final